experimenting with the caulking gun, a couple sockets, a clamp for holding copper pipe, and some old pieces of my fuel line, nylon fuel line. Now it's splitting here at the end. I have not heated any of this up yet, and I'm just seeing if this is going to work. Okay, that would have to be tighter. Okay, as you can see, it made it all the way up to here. It's split, but I do believe if I heat the line, I might be able to put the fitting in. Let me take this apart and show you. I have a couple different caulking guns. This one I came up with before I take this apart because it had a flat edge here, and I'll turn it over. I was able to catch a flat edge on the back side here with this, I can't remember what they call it, but anyway, it's used for holding copper tubing. Flaring tool anywhere. This flaring tool holds that. You can see how the socket kind of went cattywampus. I've got two of them in here. This is a 1/2 inch 3/8 drive, and I have it, take the tension off here. I have the 1/2 inch 3/8 drive on the floor now. 3 hands. Anyway, I'll get it in a minute, but this socket here is 7mm, and it does fit over the barb end fairly well. The barb end seems to be, starts off, and I think it's stepped up a little bit thicker as you go on up, and then of course the stop is right here. This is a bad piece of line. I have maybe a good piece over here left on my original line that I'm going to heat up in water for about 10 minutes according to the instructions on a new piece of nylon line that I will be adding to the side here if it works. If I'm able to put this in, then I will be able to add a new piece, and I'll show you how to do that later on. So anyway, this socket is 7mm. It fits over here, and let me get the one from the floor. This floor one, the reason I have a 3/8 and fitting into here, go ahead and take this loose. I am going to take this fitting out probably, but not right now. The reason I have a 3/8 socket fitting into this one right here is because my pusher piece has a nut on the end, and well, I was hoping it would fit over the nut, but it did not. So 3/8 will not fit over this nut. That's probably why I was a little off sideways. So I'm going to go ahead and get some hot water and heat up this end here. I got another barb. It's in the refrigerator freezer. It's a copper colored one, and I am having the barb going to be cool, line going to be warm. Line will be warm, the barb will be cool, and we'll see what happens. So I got a 1/2" drive socket, and it fits over the nut pretty nice, and then the other one fits right in here like that. It's still going to wobble a little bit, I can see, unless I wrap some tape around this socket here, make it more sturdy. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, that's better. There. Now we have a tool. Okay, the fuel line's been soaking in boiling water for 10 minutes, and my other piece, it's going to look a little bit different than this one. It's copper colored. It's in the freezer. I'm going to go get it. It and the socket are both in the freezer. Okay, I have my 1/2" drive socket and the small 1/4" 7mm socket inside of it with some tape wrapped around it, and my metal connecting piece. What I have to do is always make sure you'll be forcing it this way. You don't want this backwards. So I really don't want to spill hot water everywhere. I'm working on 5/16 fuel line right now. It ain't difficult, Steve. Three hands, here we go. Try and get it as straight as you can. Okay. Tension's off. I want to check for cracks with my magnifying glass. I do not see any issues with this at all. The interesting part is when I attach the new fuel line, which I have right here, it'll be this one right here, and I'm going to attach it to this end here, and I will have to heat it up in some boiling water as well, and be doing that in just a few minutes. Just a note here, you're watching me experiment with a process I think that might work. That's what this video is about. I have really never done any fuel lines like this until now. Okay, I'll be using another one of these clamps for flaring tool. I've got one here, and this will be the second one, and I'm experimenting here with this process by removing, I already loosened it up, the nut on the end of, I believe this is a Harbor Freight caulking gun, but it has a nut which is removable and a washer, which I dropped already. After I remove the nut, take that off, set it aside, put the nut back on. Okay, so I have something that looks like this, and what I'm going to do is make sure you know which way this is pushing, because these little threads on the inside hold this, and if you was to put it in this way, it might push through. So going like this, and I'll put this in here like this, and then the nut will fit into the next little spot there. And I will just lay it down here like that. And I'm going to take the other one that I've already, this is a different style flaring tool, but holder, but works just as well. And I'm going to put it in. That end's split. I think this end is split as well. This is the bad piece of tubing that I cut out of my line. And trying to get this lined up. This is my experimental piece. Okay. I might have it positioned. Now this is probably going to split because it's old and brittle. But here goes. Have to hold on to this and maybe guide it a little bit, or maybe hold on up here. I don't know, but I'm going to crank on the handle now and see what happens. This piece is at the back. That should hold it. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Now well, as you can see, it's split right here. See my piece split right there. I believe a flexible line will work. So what I'm going to do is take my new line, which I have right here. It has this end on it right here. This is a new piece, and I am going to go boil some water and soak it for 10 minutes. This is also 5/16. And what I will do is I will put it in here like this, and I will use my good piece of fuel line, and I will see what happens. I've got my good fuel line, actually the main piece, all ready to go. All I have to do is take this test piece out and put the real piece in. I mean the new piece. It's probably more sticking out than I wanted, but I'm not gonna worry about it at this point. I just got to get these two lined up, and pulling the trigger and guiding the rear piece into the front piece. Okay, here we go. Hang on to your hats. It does get a little stiff towards the end. Okay, you can see that it pushed through here, the hole, and I have probably another 1/4 of an inch to go here. So what I need to do is go and find a small washer. I found a small washer. Kind of see if I can guide this on now. Oops, didn't want that. Made a kink in the line right there. Well, I didn't kink the line, I just sort of, it started to bend and I stopped. I probably let this cool off too much by getting the washer, I don't know. I don't want to cut it right now or take it off, so I believe the line is okay. And there's no cracks and there's no splits, so had I been able to keep going and not lost momentum, I think I would have had it. These things are flexible and made to bend, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it right this. I'm over, I think the end of it's right here, and I've got a bunch of ridges there. So this is the low pressure line, the return line, and I would have liked to get the extra 1/4 of an inch, but I think that's about it for me right now. And I would definitely do it this way again. I believe it would have made it had this rod not pushed through. So like I said, I have one more place to push up here, but my line bent right there, and I'm not going to have a shot at doing anything with that because it's just going to bend even worse. So I stopped when it started, and here's my fuel line, here's my other end, and here's my new end. It's a long one. It's for the front fuel tank on the F150. So there it is. I'm going to put it in. If I got any leaks, I'll redo it. And until the next video, Cars, Trucks, and Detours, aka Steve AZ711. Thank you all for subscribing and watching, and bye for now.